Sometimes, because we have some smart investors, or let's say not smart, crafty investors, they have their plans clearly cut, and they take these loans and divert it into other businesses. How do you deal with such situations?
We deal with such situations all within the ambit of the law. There is one big man that have taken loan under this power and aviation intervention fund. You take money from this side, then you go and invest in Ghana or in Dubai or in London. Those are issues that we should not accommodate. However, because we are not police, we are a commercial entity, we have to go to the court. And of course, you know some of the challenges that we do encounter by the day. So we rely on the court, we appeal to the court, we appeal to the judicial process, so that based on the documents that we present to them, we go after those guys. That is the only way you can. The power that we have here is just to write letter. I can only write letter and sign and say, please come and pay. Now that person can decide to shred the letter. That person can decide not to honor our invitation. What is the recourse? The recourse is the court. I have to go to the court. I can't even go to the police and say, this person has taken money, please come and help me to go and arrest him. Because you can't arrest somebody on a commercial transaction. However, I can go to the court, and based on the court order that I get, I can go and seal up a property, or, you know, through the court process, make somebody to honor his obligation.
I'm a bit worried about how you deal with the problem of liquidity, because that's the groans of many investors in the country. Access to liquidity.
Access to liquidity, Benga, has nothing to do with me. The only thing that has to do with me is recovery. Access to liquidity has to do with CBN. CBN are responsible for the liquidity situation in the economy. If you go to CBN now, they can tell you what is the liquidity situation in the economy. They can tell you what tools, financial tools, they are using either to increase or to reduce through the commercial banks. So that is the responsibility. My responsibility is to recover. You've taken money, you have not paid, I bought that loan, there is collateral, come and pay me. It's straightforward. I'm not even supposed to be wearing jacket like this. I'm supposed to be wearing jeans and t-shirt because I'm a recovery agent. It's as simple as that. I have nothing to do with recovery. I have nothing to do with credit. I can pretend to look like you with tie, but that is not my job. My job is for you to come and sit down with me and tell me how you can recover. Of course, I'm interested in your business because I'm not...
Does that make you a combatant undertaker?
Unfortunately, it's not combatant, but a judicial undertaker. A judicial undertaker, because you have to go through within the ambit of the law. And sometimes we also go out of our way to look for investors, because some of the businesses that we've taken over, some lacks in terms of managerial skills, some in terms of capital. So we try to...
Well, you don't think that CBN multiple FOREX policy is also responsible for some of these failed assets that we're experiencing?
I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Most of the failed businesses that we've had, that we are dealing with, had to do with the global financial crisis, which has affected all the nations of the world, even some places worse than Nigeria. So it has nothing to do with the CBN specific policy at that time. It is a response to the global financial crisis.
How do you see the CBN's multiple FOREX policy?
I think it is good. You can't have one single foreign policy. You know, people try to look at other crime and try to imagine that it should operate here. But I can tell you our own situation is different, and I'm very confident that the Central Bank of Nigeria have been able over these years to stabilize the foreign exchange, despite the fact that there are so many factors. So many factors. You read recently about the 41 banned items that they say, okay, let's take it off the foreign exchange plate. And some people who are still going around, you know, to take foreign exchange, to import those items. And I think, for me, I think there must be a consequent management around this.
Now, it appears most of your achievements or your potential achievements is being hindered by the challenge of litigation. These people, perhaps by default or based on the situation, they have enough war chests to fight AMCON power for power, influence, and also having access to even better litigation sometimes. That raises the question of the new AMCON bill. How would that be able to deal with the problem and to promote efficiency in AMCON's mandates?
Ab initio, the assets that were transferred from the commercial banks to the asset management corporations were legally transferred to the asset management corporation. What it means is that any of the obligo that is interested in his or her own asset will have to come to the asset management corporation and purchase it, because on transfer, ownership is automatically transferred to the asset management corporation. But in Nigeria, the Act provides that we are only taking the position of the commercial banks, which means that anytime I want to foreclose on those assets, I have to go back to the courts to get an order to do that.
Many of the allegations from these investors in AMCON's taking over many of these companies is that AMCON usually violates the rule of corporate governance in appointing heads and key members to run these organizations. So what is the procedure for AMCON's appointment?
All those are allegations again. I think it's important we differentiate them. How many organizations have AMCON taken over and appointed managers? They are not up to 5.